Our family just finished up a weekend stay at Great Wolf Lodge, and it was a blast. But I want to talk to you about what I learned about their business model and how it's fine-tuned to maximize how much you spend at the resort. And ironically, this profit maximizing machine is centered around an amenity already included in your room rate, the water park.
The official policy at most Great Wolf Lodge locations is that your room is ready at 4, but you have access to the water park as soon as it opens at 10 a.m. And on the day you check out, you can also stay and use the water park until it closes at 8 p.m.
As a guest, this feels like a fantastic deal. If I planned ahead, I could get my family 2 full days of water park fun for the price of a one-night stay. I felt that I was making a smart decision and maximizing my money. But this is a brilliant application of pricing psychology. There are 2 main forces at work here.
First, by bundling water park access into your room charge and letting you use it for the full day on both arrival and departure, Great Wolf dramatically boosts the perceived value you're getting. Your brain doesn't see it as paying for one night in a resort. It sees it as getting 2 full days of fun. The bottom line is, getting a deal makes you feel smart, in control, and helps you rationalize the decision to spend the money on a vacation in the first place. Second, once you know you can be in that water park at 10 a.m., you feel like you're wasting money if you don't show up right when it opens. This triggers a powerful psychological principle called loss aversion.
I definitely felt this very strongly during our trip. I thought I'd have to be an idiot not to take advantage of the water park. So I planned our whole day around arriving at the resort at 10 a.m.
But there's the illusion. Getting you in the door 6 hours before you have a room is exactly what Great Wolf Lodge wants. They've just found a clever way to make sure it's what you want too. So, why do they want you in the resort as early as possible? Let's go under the wing and get into that. In my first Great Wolf Lodge video, I walked through their extensive system for selling packages and passes ahead of time. The best time for them to sell you on an upgrade is weeks before you arrive. Second best time to sell you is once you're there, and arriving early for the free water park puts you in their ecosystem for a whole day. Here's what you'll walk past on the most direct route to the water park from the lobby. The Dunkin' Donuts, perfect for tired parents to grab a coffee. The ice cream shop, the main gift shop, the pizza and sandwich shop, a Build-A-Bear workshop and a Great Wolf Kids store, the arcade, the mini golf and ropes course, and Magic Quest stations. If they get you to pick up a few treats or do an activity now, great. But if you're on the way to the water park, you now know all the options for other activities, all with an extra charge. And after a couple of hours of splashing around, all that walking past the ice cream and pizza is about to pay off for them, which brings us to their second tactic. You're in the water park having a great time. The hours fly by and it's suddenly noon, and you and the kids are getting hungry. And there are burgers, tacos, pizza, ice cream, and more just steps away. Technically, you could leave for lunch, but let's be real. Packing up wet kids when your room isn't ready and your luggage is in the car? No thanks. You're a braver parent than I am if you're taking that on. And this is why they're able to charge a premium price even on basic meals like burgers and chicken tenders.
We prepaid for dining at a discount ahead of time because we knew we weren't willing to leave the resort with a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. But many families will be making impulse lunch purchases at full price.
As an aside, without a room, you're also probably tempted to pay for a locker rental. It's not a big expense, but it's just one more little charge you have to pay for by arriving before your room is ready. So, now that you've eaten and gone back to fun in the water park, let's move on to their third tactic. The water park is really fun, and we had a blast with our kids and our friends. But even the most energetic kids have a limit. We left just before 6 o'clock, spending nearly 8 hours in the water park. And if your family is like mine, you're ready for a change of pace. And where do you go? Right back through that gauntlet of paid activities and restaurants you walked past on the way in. You'll see other families having a great time playing mini golf, enjoying the arcade, scaling up the climbing wall, or getting pizza and ice cream.
Seeing other families having fun makes you more likely to want to shell out to treat your family to the same experience. And if you had arrived at the water park closer to check-in time, you'd be much more likely to stay there all the way until 8 p.m., away from the paid activities.
So with that, let's talk about their final key tact. Having the water park open to you on checkout day creates a few spending opportunities beyond buying food in the water park. First, the late checkout. The water park opens at 10 o'clock, but checkout is at 11. You're probably not going to use the water park for just an hour. So you can either deal with the inconvenience of not having a room, or you can pay for a late checkout. If you just dealt with the hassle of not having a room on check-in day, that $50 seems worth it just to have a home base to shower, change, and keep your things.
And as every parent of young kids knows, it is far better to deal with a screaming toddler who doesn't want to leave in the privacy of your hotel room than in the public locker room.
Second is a cabana rental. You don't get a late checkout. Having a guaranteed private spot inside the water park becomes very appealing. A cabana gives you that room-like home base, but that convenience comes at a premium price. We were offered one for $200, but researching online, prices seem to vary from $150 to over $400. It's a great example of dynamic pricing, where prices can be raised or lowered based on demand. And finally, late checkout triggers one more subtle upsell. To take full advantage of that extra water park time you just paid for, you might be tempted to get breakfast at the resort to save time. And by the way, to get to that main breakfast spot, you have to go right through the arcade. Pretty amazing when you think about it. Giving you free extra time in the water park leads to a long chain of events, getting you to spend more money.
So now that you know how providing free extended access to the water park helps to feed Great Wolf Lodge's profits, is there anything you can do as a traveler to take advantage of this perk without triggering a cascade of unnecessary spending? Fortunately, the answer is yes.
If you, like us, know you'll be eating in the resort, you can purchase a dining package ahead of time to save some money. Though be aware you will be tempted to spend more knowing you've prepaid. We definitely were. In fact, we spent over our dining credit by $100 since we decided we felt like having a sit-down dinner in the lodge, since we were traveling with some friends. It was easier to rationalize this decision knowing some of it had already been paid for ahead of time at a discount, so watch out for that. You can also have dinner out or order in from an outside restaurant. We saw a steady stream of pizza deliveries coming in during dinner time, including an epic stack of what I swear were 20 pizzas from Domino's. There are a lot of delivery and quick service restaurants located near Great Wolf Lodge, so no doubt both customers and restaurant operators have figured out there is a big market in providing cheaper meal options near their resorts.
With arrival time, one thing I'll definitely do differently next time is plan to arrive just after lunch. That way we still get nearly a full day in the water park, but we can pick up a less expensive lunch on the way. This will also reduce water park fatigue, meaning we're less likely to spend more on the paid activities.
If you definitely want to do some extras, it might be worth adding a Wolf Pass or a Paw Pass, but be sure to compare the a la carte price to the pass price and make sure you're not paying for anything you don't want. Also, watch that included $5 arcade credit. I have yet to meet the kid who is satisfied after only spending $5 at the arcade. Finally, decide ahead of time what you're willing to pay for. There's absolutely nothing wrong with valuing convenience or wanting your family to have fun in the extra charge activities. My advice would be to have a conversation as a family ahead of time about what's available, set a budget, and then choose the activities you value most. That way you have a plan going in and you don't need to make spending decisions when you're in vacation mode or when you're tired and busy chasing kids around, which is when you're most likely to overspend. So, to sum this all up, the free extra time at the water park masterfully encourages spending on food, merchandise, activities, and convenience upgrades. And what's really incredible, offering this free perk barely costs Great Wolf Lodge a penny. Most of the costs of operating the water park are fixed. The slides are running, lifeguards are at their posts, the lights are on. Giving guests extra water park time hardly increases their costs at all, but it opens the door to significant additional spending.
This isn't a complaint. This is an appreciation of a brilliant business strategy. Great Wolf has managed to turn their biggest complimentary attraction, the water park, into a driver of profits across the resort. But what do you think? How will knowing this help you plan your next family getaway? Let me know in the comments and subscribe for more of our content around the business of travel. Thanks for watching.